Today was another kind of standard workout day for me. I did the usual front squats, this time up to 160 pounds for 5 sets of 5. Again, these are starting to move really well. I'm feeling good core activation during these just because of the different position that the bar is in, and having to maintain that without dumping it requires a lot of core stability. So this has been a pretty good exercise for me to practice that feeling and just better apply my own body to practice that. And so it is helping me strengthen my core more so than I would be trying to back squat 160, just because it's such a trivial weight for me to back squat. One thing that I am noticing too is that it is again helping me build up more depth in my squats. So you can notice, looking at me as I'm going, my hips are going way below the knee crease, and everything just looks stronger. I can afford to do a wider stance here with the front squats because I need to be able to get my hips down beneath my knees, and I need to help maintain a stronger upright position. So I can afford to get away a little bit wider. My hope is that doing that in the front squats will allow me to widen my stance just a little bit in my back squats, and be able to maintain that stronger flat back position with the nice strong upright position. Not like perfectly upright, but more so than I have been with my back squatting. I know things are getting a little bent over once I got to the heavier portions of my squats once I was hitting 310 pounds and so on. But this is just kind of a nice little reprieve. I think I'm going to do front squats up until 225, maybe 250. For 5 sets of 5. So it'll be like 2 or 3 months of doing it. And I'll periodically do back squats just to kind of make sure that I can maintain what I had developed in that, just because I don't want to lose too much. But the carryover between these two exercises is still going to be pretty great. I'm still squatting. It's just a different position. And I'm curious to see what kind of effect it's going to have on my back squat once I do that for the first time in a while, just because it's been about a month and a half since I've back squatted to any real effect. And I take that back. I did do the pig squat workout, and it was about a month ago or so, I think, at this point. But it's been a while since I've done like a concerted squat workout. Since I did that 5 sets of 5 with the 310. And my squat rarely ever suffers from not doing it. My form is usually about the same. The only thing that really kind of gets hurt is just my capability for load. Going into deadlifts, I decided to change things up a little bit and do some conventional deadlifts. I haven't done them in 4 months at this point. The last time I did them was towards the beginning of February. So I figured, hey, let me just kind of put them in the mix. Haven't touched them. Let's see what I can do. So I opened up with just quick set of 5 at 135. Then I did my second set at 225. Both of these felt really easy, and I was able to focus on making sure that I was locking my hip position and really kind of maintaining that position I'd found with strong hips, and being able to really activate the full power of my hamstrings going through. However, it's still not an automatic position for me. So I still have to remind myself to lock the hips and pull, just because I can find myself at times losing that ability, or losing that tension and that focus on making sure my hips lock and pull the weight. So I think that's what happened right here with this rep at 365 when I did that attempt. So my hips did not lock. Well, yeah, they didn't lock as tightly as they could have, and so I wasn't super happy with that. And so I focused that on this pull right here. So I pulled 405 conventionally with hook grip for the first time, and I focused on making sure that my hips locked, held that in place, and pulled that through nice and clean. So it was a very good attempt, a very good rep for me. I definitely can do a bit more. That was probably like an RPE 8 or so, simply because I just haven't done heavy conventional deadlifts in 4 months. So it's very out of practice for me. And if I focus on it for a few weeks, I could probably push the weight a little bit, just kind of getting used to that position again. But again, the crux that I've been running into, which on my trap bar deadlifts and my historical crux with deadlifting, is getting it off the floor. If I can break the weight, I can lock it out at this point. But the issue with me is just breaking the weight. So definitely need to work on getting the deficit deadlifts in the programming and maintaining those, just because that helps out so much with my strength off the floor. Did 440, didn't get close. So I bumped it down to 420 and decided, hey, I know I can pull that on the trap bar. Let me just give it a shot here. Decided to just go raw, and I did definitely feel it starting to move, but I could tell I wasn't going to get that off the ground at that time. So I took a few minutes, tried again with some straps. This one, I put a lot of effort into getting off the floor. I focused on just cueing in my head, lock your hips, pull. You've got the strength to pull the weight. Just get it off the floor and you can get it. Unfortunately, as you're going to see, I didn't quite get it. And the amount of effort that I put into this, when I was walking away, I almost passed out just because of how much pressure I had induced inside my head when I was trying to pull that weight. And had really just kind of focused and locked in. So right here, I wonder if I got as red as I did doing the 475 attempt the other day. No, not really. But I got real lightheaded there. So it was kind of rough. Here, I wanted to compare the first time I pulled 405 on a deadlift bar to this time, just because it's been 4 months since I did it. And I did it with straps and a belt the first time, and I had to do it sumo. And this time it looks 405 conventional. And the pull is just a lot faster and cleaner. I got caught up at the mid-thigh the first time I did it, and this time it just pulled straight through and had no issue with it. So it's definitely a lot stronger than I was a few months ago. It's nice to see tangible progress like that. One thing that I was reviewing too, going through all of this, is that I was talking with some friends of mine the other day about how I was going through and looking at old videos, and I found a clip of me doing 315 for a set of 3 or a set of 2, and I was struggling to do that, and it was really kind of apparent just how different that my strength was compared to now. And especially like me doing the 315 for a set of 3, I guarantee that if I were to put those up right now and view them and compare them against each other, the 315 I did today is going to be a lot faster than the 315 I did the other day, or than I did a few months ago. Well, actually, it was September of 2020. And even then, the 315 I did back then is slower than the triple that I did at 405 a few weeks ago. So it's little things like that that really highlight the development in your strength and just the progress that you might not see right away. But having this record of everything that I've done, all of these videos that I can go back and reference and look at, really helps cement to me that I am getting stronger, even if it doesn't seem like I'm doing it day by day, just because, and like session by session, just because I experience myself every single day. And you sort of have this mental baseline of you are yourself. All of these lifts are always what you can do. You're going to make progress, but you might not perceive it as much as progress, just because it's what you're doing. It's what you have to do. You just get it done. You knock it out. It's, whatever, it's taken care of. But being able to see that tangible difference, especially with like the video clips that I've taken, is so valuable. One of the things that, that I can tell there is that my core is a lot stronger. I'm not as bent over in the 315, in the reps of doing 315 or the ones in 405 as I was, before. My speed off of the floor is a lot stronger. I'm not taking as much effort to do each rep. The time between reps is a lot faster. Each one's cleaner. There's less exertion. And so I may not notice that right away. And I can see that, and I can see it with numbers on the page of my training log. That's one thing I can look at and go, okay, there is record of the progress. But over time, I might forget how difficult or how easy things were at the time. But I can look back at these individual video clips and look at them and kind of use that as a reference, or just look at these videos here, which is kind of the point of this. This is a video journal for myself to reference and look back on and just kind of see what were the difficulties that I had at this time, what were the things that I was doing that helped me progress forward with different exercises, what helped combine to make my squat get stronger, what did I do to improve my bench, what did I do that helped cause this huge block, or my deadlift just exploded. And it's nice to have that record, to see that tangible progress. So, it's if you don't record your workouts, that's not a huge deal. That not everybody wants to do that just because they don't want to look at these things. And you're just kind of there for the benefits of fitness, and that's perfectly okay. But I think if you're trying to do this to improve your strength and strive to push the numbers higher, to better your lifts, it's so valuable to be able to do this, and record yourself and get an idea of what you're looking at. And not in the sense that you want to critique everything you're doing and, potentially limit yourself more than you need to, but just as a reference of saying, okay, one of the things that I noticed by watching these is that my hips were rising so much during my deadlifts that I wasn't paying attention to that. And that was causing a lot of my issues. So I focused on keeping my hips low, or lower, by doing deficit deadlifts and focusing on locking them in place. I noticed that my back was running a little bit more, so or my lockout was weaker, so I was doing block pulls to help strengthen my hips, and now my hips are, bounds above in terms of strength than any other part of my deadlift. And there's a bit of a rant right here at the end, and I'm rambling on, but the value of being able to do this can't be understated. And I encourage you to just try recording a couple of workouts and just look back on the clips over time and just compare to see where you've gone. Just because the wisdom you'll be able to develop from that, and like the knowledge that you'll gain, is just invaluable.